You're welcome to another interesting edition of the Economy and Politics Show. I'm Ottoabasi Abasiekong. This edition will discuss the listing of Transcorp Power Plc as a catalyst for new investments in Nigeria's power sector. Yesterday, the Nigerian capital market received a major boost in activities as Transcorp Power Plc, a leading electricity generating company with a market capitalization of 1.8 trillion naira, listed on the Nigerian Exchange Limited. I had the privilege of engaging board members and executives of Transcorp Power Plc on the implications of the listing of capital markets and Nigerian economy. I started with Mr. Emmanuel Nnorom, the chairman of Transcorp Power Plc, who shared insights into the value of the listing to the market, linkage with the economy, upgrading Nigeria's power infrastructure through investments, navigating the foreign exchange issues, and the outlook for Transcorp Power Plc and the overall power sector in 2024. Tell us the value of this listing to the market and economy at this time.
The value on the listing, the whole 7.5 million units listed is valued at 1.8 trillion based on 240 naira per share. Today, like we have been told in the market, 40 million units were sold at various prices, translating to about 10.5 billion as a turnover. And the share gained full value, 10% at 264. So the value will continue to increase from the 1.8 trillion we listed.
Looking at Nigeria's power infrastructure, there's need for it to achieve scale and more investments. You've invested very well in Genco, moved it from the expectation of the BP over 680 to 700 megawatts now. So tell us about your plans to invest further in the power infrastructure, and even the words of your chairman that says, if possible, Genco should be involved in the liberalization of transmission segment.
Yeah, you see, like the chairman said, our plan is to ensure that even what we have the capacity to generate, and we do generate, gets to the end users. But in between the generating points and then the end user, there's the transmission. And so some difficulties in transmission affects what is delivered. Power is something you cannot store. So we're moving towards, in advocacy, trying to let government know that the transmission sector has to be worked on, has to be looked at. Some commercialization approach, if you want, or perhaps maybe privatizing it completely. So that if I generate 7,000 megawatts or 700 megawatts, I can transmit all that to the end user. The end user is waiting for the power. And so a whole lot of things are still required by the government to be done, especially in the transmission sector, to make sure we achieve the ultimate objective, yes.
How are you navigating the current foreign exchange challenge? Because it's a challenge for all companies, sustainability. How is Transcorp Power navigating that to improve and scale its operations?
Well, for our company, we are doing a lot in terms of available foreign exchange in maintaining our machineries. Of course, the turbines are imported items and all that. But then I want to say that amongst many of the power generating companies, ours is one that is run fully by Nigerians, no expatriates. Yes, we need the skills from expatriates and so on, but this is Nigerian run from the top to the last. So we're challenging our engineers to do so many things that you can ordinarily, fabricate or whatever. You can do that locally in Nigeria. So that we're doing, and then of course assessing the little foreign nations available to enable us procure those things that we cannot actually do in Nigeria. Yeah.
Listing the Ogeli Genco, but we want to know from you what we should expect from the AFAM and the AFWE other plants. What's the situation with them, and what's the outlook for the power sector, and what should we expect more from Transcorp Power?
Well, AFAM, TransAFAM is still, I say, baby. Quite a lot still going on with the government and us in terms of getting, the output increased. We have done so much so far, though, because at the point we took over, it was almost like a zero. But today we have a capacity of about 123 megawatts, and most times we generate about 80, 90 because of some restriction like gas not being available, and also maybe transmission also. Again, these are constraints, but I think they are all insurmountable. For the future, there's a lot available for the power sector. I would say the generating companies are all doing very well in terms of, contributing or meeting the requirements of what they have as set. But we now need to look at the constraints the gas area and now the transmission, and then the end user will get a good result. Yeah.
For board member and investor, Mr. Peter Hertog, there is a huge confidence in potentials of Transcorp Power Plc to transform Nigeria's electricity distribution and generation landscape.
Generation is indeed only one element, and distribution is another important element. But if the transmission in between those two, connecting those two, is not in order, then the people will still be deprived of power, correct? So it's all the elements, generation, transmission, and the distribution, which needs to be aligned seamlessly to make sure that eventually the generated power by Transcorp comes to the end user in the country. So very important to pay attention to that element also.
African business leader and chairman of Transcorp Group Plc, Mr. Tony Elumelu, speaks on the implications of the listing for the Nigerian economy.
As chairman of Transcorp Group, I'm excited about what has happened to the list of Transcorp Group. Access to electricity is important for the development of countries. Access to electricity will help us create jobs. Access to electricity will support our small and medium scale enterprise. These are the people who help to fire economies. Access to electricity will help our hospitals function well. Access to electricity will help our children go to school and do homework at home. So what is going on today is not just about wealth creation, it's about improving lives. And that's what we do at Transcorp Group. We are committed to improving lives and transforming societies. Improving access to electricity is so critical for the industrialization of Nigeria, for job creation. And when we met with the president is also interested in seeing improvement in access to electricity. So what is happening today is good, not only for the shareholders of Transcorp, but it's good for the Nigerian economy, it's good for every Nigerian. We need to see success stories out of Nigeria, especially at a time like this, and that's what we're celebrating today.
The 2013 power sector reforms, which led to liberalization of the distribution and generation segment of the power sector, may have had its own fair share of challenges, but one positive takeaway is the listing of 2 electricity generating companies since then. The 2 companies are 1 trillion naira plus market cap companies, deepening the market and unlocking economic opportunities. This brings the need for government to review the power sector reforms with a strategic approach to the transmission segment. It needs to be liberalized to attract new investments and address the poor state of infrastructure. There's also the issue of gas infrastructure and pricing, which is critical to the viability of the electricity generating companies. Enabling policy framework is vital for sustainability. In all, the Transcorp Power Plc listing reinforces the need for more government assets and enterprises to be liberalized through the capital market, which will create opportunity for all. That'll be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. If you want to get further insights on the conversation, log on to our website, www.proshare.co, to get further insights from our reports analysis. Also, you can visit the social media platforms displayed on the screen to get further insights on a conversation. It's been a very great interaction with you, looking at the challenges and how we can be addressed in our economy for the overall good of Nigerians. I'm Ottoabasi Abasiekong. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.